So look, I know times have been tough in the recent months, hence why I wasn't really bringing individual coin videos to the channel because I didn't want you guys to be potentially losing money. I took a more defensive than offensive approach. I kept the videos strictly to market updates and analysis. However, we seem to be transitioning out of that risk off phase, going more risk on. Calls were still being made in my community Discord, so money was there for the taking, but on YouTube, I decided to play it safe. That all being said, I think it's an appropriate time to discuss this interesting project which has been garnering a lot of attention lately. Now, you may think it's late, but this was mentioned in the Discord a few months back at under 20 cents, so again, if you ain't active in there, I don't know what you're doing because it's completely free. But yeah, the project in question is Keeta Network. This is a layer 1 blockchain designed to revolutionize payments by connecting different blockchains and fiat payment systems. Its core mission is to unify global transactions, eliminate costly intermediaries, reducing fees, and enabling near instant settlements. It aims to be the world's most scalable blockchain, apparently reaching transaction speeds of 10 million per second, which is just fucking absurd. Naturally, being payments focused, this will draw comparisons with Ripple, which had a mini revival of sorts at the end of 2024. But given the tech, this one can look to rub shoulders with other layer 1s too, like Ethereum, Solana. However, whether it's worth your investment and your hard-earned money is a different question, and one which we will answer throughout this video. Moving on to the website, I am a fan of this design. You guys know I value websites for projects. It's the first port of call for many people, so it has to be sleek, modern, eye-catching, not doing too much, but not doing too little, and I think this one is top. So beginning, we can see where networks connect. Keeta serves as a common ground for all payment networks and assets, so you understand right from the start what this is trying to do. Key features: one network ready for anything. Move assets across networks. Keeta enables interaction across multiple blockchains by acting as a unifying layer for direct cross-chain transactions. We've got trade real-world assets. Create tokens to represent any asset, trade between them and unlock new liquidity. This is huge. I mean, ticking the RWA narrative, you guys know how bullish I am on this, and if BlackRock and Larry Fink are interested in something, it's within your best interest to also be interested. We've got compliance when it counts, meet regulations for traditional finance channels, no extra friction required. This is very, very big for the big industries or big players looking to find a blockchain or some kind of project which already meets their needs and requirements. And then we've got scalable by design. This is the tech stuff. Keeta delivers 10 million TPS and 400 millisecond settlement, Keeta enabling a unified network. This is ridiculously fast. I think it's the second fastest time I've seen in crypto in terms of blockchain speeds after Cubic. But yeah, I mean, look, 10 million TPS, 400 MS, that's just, compared to some of the Dino coins, ridiculous. But we've got a quote here from Eric Schmidt, and I'll get into this guy later and what his relevance is here. But Keeta is orders of magnitude more scalable and efficient than existing solutions, basically saying this is the new kid on the block and it's better than the existing tech. Massive, massive statement from former CEO of Google and Keeta investor. We'll see just how much he put in a second. We've mentioned the built-in tokenization side of things, very promising in a narrative with a big, big future. And the compliance side too, making it very institutionally attractive. Regulation clampdowns, KYCs, digital certificates, having that ingrained takes a lot of weight off any potential developers, customers, users, investors, something they don't need to worry about. So yeah, it's a very good string to Keeta's bow. Here we can see one of the use cases: decentralized marketplace. Leverage Keeta's cross-chain protocol to tokenize assets, tap into real-time liquidity across networks, and settle trades in an instant. You can see why this would be attractive to pretty much any sector, but especially to payments and real-world assets. So we can see at the bottom of their website, we have a nice comparison grid against their competitors. So we got sub-second finality, we got lower fees, 10 million TPS, native tokenization, and built-in compliance protocols. Some huge standouts against existing players. Although I do want to note, this is still in testnet. The numbers here are theoretical and haven't been proven, so to speak, but these are bold claims and I don't think they would be pulling these numbers from anywhere. I'm sure they'll go through the verification, auditing, certification stuff soon. So diving a little bit more into what makes Keeta unique, it uses a DAG structure. Unlike traditional linear blockchains like Bitcoin or Ethereum, Keeta uses a DAG-based architecture with delegated proof of stake. This allows parallel transaction processing, which boosts scalability and efficiency. Of course, this allows Keeta to achieve unprecedented speed and scalability. The claim of 10 million TPS and 400 millisecond finality dwarfs the competitors, like Solana I believe is like 3 to 65,000 TPS, and even something like XRP is only 1500 TPS, although remember this is all theoretical. As mentioned, the built-in compliance is huge. It's designed for traditional financial institutions with automated KYC, AML. This makes it attractive to banks and regulators, setting it apart from most blockchains that lack the native compliance mechanisms. Cross-chain interoperability too. Keeta connects payment networks, enabling seamless value transfer across blockchains and fiat systems, positioning it as a potential global financial layer. And finally, something I haven't mentioned yet is the cloud-based infrastructure. This leverages centralized cloud servers like Google Cloud or AWS for high performance, although I should say this does raise concerns about decentralization. Remember, the blockchain trilemma is speed, security, and decentralization. Keeta solves the first two, but there may be question marks around the final, arguably most important one. Quick break to ask, why are you not part of the best free community in crypto? Join over 1,000 people determined to make money and help each other out. Sign up to the email newsletter too, it's all free, you've got no excuse, link down below. Moving on to tokenomics, Keeta has a max supply of 1 billion. Nothing out of the ordinary here, a pretty standard number in crypto. Currently we have around 400 million in circulating supply, so 40%, again relatively normal. Looking at the breakdown, 50% is for the community or reserve, 20% is for the team, 20% went to early investors, which means KTA was not a fair launch, and 10% is reserved in the treasury. We can also see the various vesting periods for these different areas, all with their own locks or cliffs. So we can see more data on this here. We currently have a monthly unlock of around 2 million tokens, or 0.2% of the total supply, which isn't too detrimental, especially in the short to medium term. However, one thing to note is this will increase to 12 million tokens per month from September onwards, which is 1.3% of the supply, and then it'll go up to 18 million or closer to 2%. I have seen worse dilution in crypto, and if market conditions are favorable, this really won't mean that much, but in the grand scheme of things, it is good to note. As for the initial price for early investors, I couldn't find credible data disclosing this. Whether it has been made public or not yet, I'm not sure. Doing some maths, I estimated the price at token generation event to be just over 2 cents, meaning early investors likely got in even cheaper, maybe between 1 to 2 cents or perhaps even less, which would be crazy. Again, this isn't guaranteed, just speculation from myself. Feel free to correct me down below if you have some intel. So because Keeta is still a relatively new project, you can't expect too many partnerships from the get-go. This is something to keep in mind, but one partnership of sorts or investment is from ex-Google CEO Eric Schmidt. I don't really think I need to get into too much intricate detail on the credibility of this guy. I mean, he's worth $23 billion, an absurdly dumb, stupid figure. And he has invested 17 million of his own money into Keeta during the fundraising round. I believe they managed to raise a total of $22 million or something. Now, does this mean the project is guaranteed to succeed and we can all chuck in 17 million of our own money, just like my boy Eric over here? No, it doesn't guarantee anything. However, what it does do is signal a huge vote of confidence from a hugely successful entrepreneurial figure. You'd like to think, given his status, wealth, and previous occupation, he'd know a thing or two about tech and investing. So yeah, sometimes all projects need is a tag like this attached to them for them to do well. As for the team itself, I struggled to find information. I don't think it's a matter of them remaining anonymous or choosing to be undoxed. It really ain't the kind of project to warrant that, but as it's early, maybe they haven't gotten around to it. The information was scarce and hard to find, but apparently it's a team of experienced developers, which is very loose and, to be honest, expected at the minimum. But the CEO, Tai Schenk, has been a software engineer since his teenage years. Doesn't mean much to me because I don't know how old he is. He could still be a teenager. But jokes aside, I would hope more information about the people working on this will be revealed soon. The community is relatively small at the moment, but growing. 12k followers on Twitter, around 3,000 to 4,000 on Discord. It's relatively active, but again, considering the token launched 2 months ago, maybe I should cut them a bit of slack here. Launching in those times would have made it difficult to hit the ground running in this space, so I got to give them even more credit for achieving what they have done thus far. Now for the fun part, the reason why you're probably all here. Take a look at this absolute bastard of a chart. Actually, before diving into this, I should probably mention it is both on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. It's available on Aerodrome and Uniswap for DEXs, and it is lacking on the centralized exchanges. A couple tier 3s, nothing special here, which is good in the sense of showing us just how early we are still, but this is the kind of project I can see getting listings soon, especially with the demand it has. Probably some tier 2s, then definitely the Binances, the Coinbases will be sniffing around if this momentum continues. But yeah, back to the bastard. These recent candles here are absolutely disgusting. The price today is 81 cents, giving it a market cap of 325 million, fully diluted above 800 mil, which we don't have to worry about in the short term. This chart is saying the price was actually around 1 cent in the first few days after launch. I don't know how credible this is, but factor in market timing. This was in the middle of Trump fucking around with tariffs and market uncertainty. If you managed to get in at this price, then damn, congrats to you. Initially, it was performing well, nothing mind-blowingly special. The initial leg took it up from around 4 or 5 cents to 10 cents, and it ranged in the 10 to 20 cent region for a while. Then it just took off differently. We're talking a 6-7x in like 10 days. Redonkulous. It was mentioned in my Discord towards the end of March, around this time. So again, that would have been a good time to get into. But yeah, it's fair to say that word is breaking out right now. Straight off the bat, I want to say this is not a good time to buy. I always say to you guys, don't go chasing green candles. 9 out of 10 times we will see a pullback, sell-off, retrace of some description. That's your time to get in. Watch me jinx it now, and this is the one time it doesn't come back down. Nah, I'm only joking. But yeah, as an objective, rational investor, this ain't the time to buy. But if you're just so excited and giddy and you can't help yourself, then DCA. Only put a bit in for peace of mind and buy the dips. Now, price prediction. Remember, all hypothetical of course, but it is a difficult one. Let's analyze the easy option. Apparently this is going to be the next Ripple. XRP has a market cap of $140 billion. KTA right now is around $300 million. We're talking a 400/500x here. Do I think that's realistic this cycle? No, of course not. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I don't sow hopium. I'm not one of those YouTubers. Well, what does it have going for it? Well, it is a layer 1, which is always in demand. Payments focused with RWA and interoperability. The tech is allegedly groundbreaking. 10 million TPS, which blows 99.9% of blockchains out the water, with 400 millisecond finality. Very impressive. It's got the backing of a world-renowned entrepreneur, investor, and billionaire. All of that whilst not being on any major exchanges. So is it undervalued at 300 mil market cap? I'd say so, yeah. In the midterm, yes, but it has exploded very quickly. If this project reached 1 billion, would I be surprised? No. It has a lot going for it in the present, and with more updates on the way, this could continue rallying. Hype and attention is gasoline in crypto. Keeta has that right now, and if it continues, there's no reason for something like this to not 2, 3, 4x in the coming months, let alone push for those 5 to 10x plus returns. Anything above that could be a stretch for this cycle, depending on how much liquidity we get, but this is a utility project and it does have legs for the future. One of the main issues I have with Keeta is it's a new layer 1 in a sea of new layer 1s. Yes, it's payments oriented with super good tech, focus on RWA, very scalable, trilemma solving, but Cubic is like that, Casper is like that, Quill is like that, Devi is like that. All these new layer 1 coins have more than enough going for them to try to dislodge and remove the previous Dino coins, and in all honesty, I hope they all do. But it could turn into a survival of the fittest scenario, and whether Keeta is one which will survive is what you have to ask yourself. All in all, from what I've seen, this is probably a multi-billion-dollar project in the peak of the bull run if it lives up to its potential. However, if you have made good returns now, please secure some profit. This is an early stage project, a lot could go wrong, the claims are still theoretical and we are still in testnet. If you are interested in this project, please don't buy now. I do believe the opportunity will present itself as people take profit. Look, I mean, it's dipping as I speak, so yeah, just be a bit patient, but if you can't, then DCA in. Wrapping the video up in the coin scoring matrix. Damn, we ain't been here in a minute. Real ones know about this. Does Keeta have innovative or excellent tech? That is definitely a yes. 10 million TPS, DAG technology, 400 millisecond finality. Yeah, I don't need to go into that too much. Relevant narratives also a yes. We got payments and RWA. Low market cap is in the middle. It's not a low market cap, but it's definitely not high. I would call this a mid cap. Good tokenomics, again, I put it in the middle. They're not exceptional, I wouldn't classify them as good, but I wouldn't say that it's bad either. So right in the middle. Experienced or credible team, this is going to have to be a red purely because it's so difficult to find information. So I literally have absolutely no idea on the team. Maybe that's just me. Again, feel free to correct me down in the comments. Key partnerships, I'm going to put in the middle as well. It's getting carried kind of by Eric Schmidt from Google. Without him, this would be a red, but yeah, I guess you could even say that's a green in a way, that kind of partnership. I'll put it in the middle because it's also not on many exchanges right now, which could be a benefit actually as we're early, depending on your perspective. Active community, I'm going to go in the middle as well. It's definitely not inactive, but it's too early for me to say. Shiny coin effect is yes. This wasn't around previous cycle. It is a new launch. Fair launched is a no. There was a pre-sale round of which I still don't know the ICO price. Again, if you have intel, please drop it down below. And promising roadmap, I'm going to put no, because the way I see this is it has to be easy to find, clear to find, like on their website or in a tweet or something like that. I struggle to find this information. I'm obviously not saying that their future's not promising. They of course have a roadmap, but it was just hard for me to find. But yeah, guys, that's the video wrapped up. Thank God. Not sure if you can tell, but my voice is going, so I apologize for that. Cheers for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Join the Discord. It's 100% free, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.